So that's currently live. Hey Dave, people are going to see me experimenting with technical stuff. Dave, I lost your camera.
I turned it off briefly. Did turning it back on, did that screw things up completely, or?
Okay, so now if I do this, the views. Okay, so now if I do this.
Can you hear me?
No, did not. Okay, so now if I do this. Oh, because
Can
it's...
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, dude. Okay, no, it just means I have to...
Cool.
Oh, because I'm here. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, no, it just means
Hello, Nick. How are you? Did that work, or are we still having trouble?
okay.
But hopefully that won't go through on the
manual process here. Okay.
But hopefully that won't go through on the
manual process here.
over to me.
Okay, it's 7:15, and I'm pretty sure this microphone's audio works. I seem to have problems with it every single time. How are people able to hear me in general? Does it sound okay? I always, of course, have to wait the requisite 15 or so seconds before people. Okay. People seem to hear me. Okay. All right. Good. Wait a second here for Christian Armstrong is saying something, so just double check on that. Okay. All right. So, welcome to the MAGFest Fireside Chat. For those who don't know what the Fireside Chats are, they're a monthly check-in from the executive director to tell the MAGFest community, the staff and the volunteer community, but really anybody's welcome to watch about the goings-on in the volunteer world, the community world, the company world, the nonprofit world, and all that. For those who do know what the Fireside Chat is, for the fourth time, I will reiterate, if you haven't noticed, I am not Dom. I am Nick Marinelli. I am the Chief Operating Officer of MAGFest, and I am also the Acting Executive Director. The plan is for Dom to retire back to civilian life in the next few months, probably after the conclusion of the first MAGWest, maybe weaning off to Super MAGFest. And if I don't set the place on fire, then maybe they'll let me run the ship. So the last time we had one of these fireside chats was at Magstock. For those who don't know what Magstock is, it's our annual camping event out in Louisa, Virginia. Started because I think someone said, hey, what if we did like a Woodstock? We could call it Magstock. And someone said, oh, that'd be a good idea. And so that eventually just happened. So Brendan Becker, the guy who ran MAGFest for a good 8 years during its formidable years when it was really growing up, who really kind of like the soul, the spirit of MAGFest. He started Magstock, but then handed it over to Charles Lohr and Clint Varnum, and since then a little bit of changeovers, and the two people that are running Magstock now are Matt Hachi Reed and Mark Murnan. Mark Murnan just got put in the Magstock leadership position just after this most recent one. This most recent one, by the way, the biggest one ever. Just shy of hitting its cap of 500 people. The place was packed, and it was a hell of a good time. What I like about Magstock is that it's smooth, it's slow, it's relaxing. MAGFest provides provide the music stage, we provide the campground, we provide the slip and slide. That's really about it. Everything else is provided by the campers, and that kind of event built out of a community is what makes it fun, because it's something different every time, and it's just it's whatever you make it. So beyond Magstock, what else has happened? Let me actually bring up the calendar just to make sure I don't miss anything. We had a couple different promo events that we were involved with over the past month or so. AwesomeCon happened in Washington, D.C. AwesomeCon is kind of like it's the Comic-Con of D.C., like a San Diego Comic-Con or a New York Comic-Con, and it's just about as big as one of those two. Jesus fucking Christ. It's got to be at least 60,000 people, probably closer to 80, walking through their main expo hall is like a goddamn zoo. I'm very happy for them that they've grown so big. I personally get a little claustrophobic walking around there, but it's a they really turned that into a huge thing in a short amount of time. Tons of celebrities that you can go meet, and, pay a fee, and then they'll give you an autograph. But MAGFest was there in full force. My God, you walk in through the front door, and like the first room you see is everything that we provided. We provided like a dozen or more, maybe like 20. Somewhere between 10 and 20 arcade cabs. The MIVS team, the MAGFest Indie Video Game Showcase, they ran an indie showcase at AwesomeCon. And that was great. We had a lot of MIVS veterans. Oh shit! I don't have a fire. All right, I can fix this. At some point, I don't have a fire. This is the most important thing that I forgot about. There we go. What was I thinking? Doing a fireside chat without a fire. Also, you can see my filthy floor behind me. Let's see if we can just see my. There you go. That's much better. Where was I? Oh, right. AwesomeCon arcades, MIVS team, a lot of 30 cabs. We had 30 cabs at AwesomeCon. So a lot of great indie devs there, and the people who were supposed to do the AwesomeCon game room bailed at the last minute. So we helped them out in a pinch, and we were able to provide consoles for them as well. So I gotta give big shout outs to everyone involved with that. And sorry if I forget anybody's name, but Carrie Snyder and Shay Alexander, Nugget, they were huge drivers of that. Lexi and I think Nate or Joel. I mix up the two guys. It's Nate. They organized all of the MIVS stuff. CY helped a lot with the promo table. I know Ethan was there. Rickoculus. I always forget his real name. Is it Rick? I don't think it is. Oh God, I forget who else was there. But they did a fantastic job. They really went all out, and they made a really good name for us there. And those things are big, and they take a lot out of us. And we're at the point where there's a lot of people asking us to do stuff. And there's a thing Dom would always say, if we're going to die of something related to opportunities, it's going to be from indigestion and not starvation. We have to be careful about what we commit to, because it is very easy for us to overcommit and burn ourselves out in the process. And if you've heard me the broken record talking about burnout, you know I don't like it. And so it's in general, do what you can. Don't push yourself too hard. And know that it's okay if you don't go whole hog the entire time. I'm just realizing now this URL at the top of your window is I'm going to change the there you go. Now you can actually see it. Oh yeah, speaking of, if you have any questions, you can put them in chat or throw them in this form up here. I may miss them if they're in chat, but I always go back at the end and look at people that's been through this forum. If you ever have any questions for me, if you need if there's something you gotta get off your chest, if there's something you're curious about, if there's something you don't like about me, if you just want to tell me that I'm ugly, book a time with me. This dilly here is linked with my Google Calendar. So it tells you when I don't actively have a meeting going on, and you can book a time with me, and you can say hello, and we can yell at each other or give each other high praise. So beyond AwesomeCon, we also did too many games up in well, they'll advertise Philadelphia, but Oaks, Pennsylvania. Which is a fun event. It's run by the people who do Screenwave Media, so that means there's a lot of internet personalities there, and they got some. Screenwave has some good musicians too, so you can see some good music there as well. It's a little bit of a mini MAGFest, actually. Beyond that, we also had Mag Labs Con. Mag Labs is the makerspace version of MAGFest. We go back to our old hotel in Alexandria, Virginia, the Hilton Mark Center, where we used to be for 4 years between 2008 and 2012. Or was it 2007, 2011? Either way. Mag Labs, short for MAGFest Laboratories, is basically a hands-on version of MAGFest. It's smaller and more intimate, and that allows for more direct interaction and a lot of learning and building experiences. So soldering, sewing, music theory. They're trying building Legos. The big focus of Mag Labs is building and learning. So if you like all of like the neat things at MAGFest that kind of go into like the technical side of how stuff is made or anything like that, Mag Labs is great because it gives you a lot of chances to learn how to do those kinds of things and really get your hands dirty in the process. Let me scroll back through the chat here to see if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, Dave wants to make sure that John Harker and Ben Eccles get called out for AwesomeCon, because they were a lot of help. I know John Harker was on site and helping move all those cabs, and Ben Eccles helped a lot for getting everything packed up to move out and in. So Mag Labs Con happened, and Mag Labs, so Mag Labs Con is the planning meeting to run Mag Labs, as opposed to Mag Con, which is the planning meeting to run Super MAGFest. Super MAGFest being the flagship event. We're calling it that. It's not MAGFest Prime. Mag Labs Con was run by the research team. That's the people that run Mag Labs. That is Joe Cooter, Jared Gianowski. Can someone spell that phonetically for me? Because I've never actually heard him say it. Chris Donnelly, or Chris O'Donnell, as I like to call him, and Tresh, Dusty Peterson. So they talked about some of their big plans for Mag Labs, and then they were going over layouts and budgets and such. They are very happy to announce that they got John St. John, Duke Nukem, back, and the guy's a party animal. We'll see if he can go as hard as he used to. It's been a few years. I'm sure he can keep up. But yeah, he's a super personable guy, and so he'll make the event a lot of fun. Joe, if you're listening, I don't know what other guests you're cleared to announce, so list them in the chat. I can get back to them. So aside from Mag Labs Con, we have a lot of great promo events coming up that we could use a hand with, because we commit to too many things all the time. much to my chagrin. The game show. Oh my God, I forgot. So the game show crew, MAGFest Versus, headed by Nugget and Chrono Wolf. Who else is in there? I know Matt Zeher is in there. Insane Ian wasn't there to do the narration this time. Actually, Nugget did a pretty good job being the MC for that. But Matt, oh, what do you mean? I got a lot of, I forgot. Nugget's giving me shit here. I got a lot of things to cover here. MAGFest Versus is one of the coolest things to ever come out of MAGFest. These people completely rebuilt an unnamed Nickelodeon game show that focused on video games from the ground up. Navigating the game board, answering the questions, game challenges, and even a full green screen setup where you have a team that's got to touch the records and avoid the dangers on the green screen. It's so cool, and the people at AwesomeCon loved it. The room was packed. There was a lot of energy, and it was really fun. I hope to God they continue doing it because it's something that a lot of people need to see. So beyond that, promo events coming up, and if I backtrack again because I see people typing in Slack. BlurredCon. Oh yeah, BlurredCon, the black nerd convention in DC. It's a it's a geek convention focused on diversity. It was their first year. We helped them out by bringing arcade cabs. And as far as I know, that went really well. I think Carrie Snyder was there along with Derek Williams and CY helping out again, being the trooper that he is, our warehouse manager Dave Anderson has been loading these trucks. I tell you, in very hot weather, which we are working to improve. Not the weather, but swear to God, we're a stone's throw from getting this air conditioning completed in the warehouse. We're so close. We're so close. It's almost there. But Dave is actually going to be on. I'll have him on in like 15 minutes or so, and he's going to give news about happenings in the warehouse. So speaking of the warehouse, so Dave is our temporary warehouse manager, aka the Lord of Logistics. The position is open for application. If you go to magfest.org/jobs, there's a job posting for it there. Dave is, of course, in the running for it because he's doing such a good job. He'll be on at least until September 15th. And we are aiming to have the permanent person hired before Mag Labs, which is September 1st through 3rd, by the way. And the goal is either Dave's going to be the permanent person through, or if there's someone else, they'll start before Mag Labs so we can have an ease in and two people hitting it hard, so we're not dropping them into the fire right away. Okay, and I also forgot to mention that the game show crew did the game show at MomoCon in Atlanta. They drove all the way down there. I think like we originally had like a promo table trade with MomoCon. Like we gave them a table at MAGFest, and we're like, okay, maybe we'll do a table down there. We're like, fuck it, we'll do the game show, and they were game for it. I'm hilarious. That's so funny. I'm also talking really fast. Promo events. Too many games. So we have stuff coming up that we need help for. I have to stop saying I know. A really big thing that we need the best, the cream of the crop for is the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. is a museum that we regularly partner with to help them with their indie showcase events. They bring in a lot of indie developers with the help of, I believe, American University, Lindsay Toddy and Chris Totten. Not Lindsay Toddy. Lindsay, what the hell is his name? But they help out with MIBs. And then we bring in classic games to supplement that. As part of like a long-term, long-game goal to see if we can get more, see more game stuff in. Hold on a second, is Dave talking to me here? No, it's Mike's muted. Never mind. A long-term goal of seeing games in museums more. We're going all out at this one. We're gonna make it look like a damn museum. If it's gonna be in a museum, we're gonna have info placards. We're gonna have volunteers with T-shirts stationed at every table. The volunteers need to be smiling, happy, informative, proactive, charismatic, actively talking with all the people at the tables around them, with a good sense of knowledge of the things they're talking about. Now, you don't have to know everything about video games, but we will have like the info placard. So at the very least, study on that when you get on site, and so talk about Donkey Kong, talk about the Nintendo, talk about the history, and Nugget suggesting that I invite the museum team, which but they may not meet the enthusiasm threshold. They definitely meet the knowledge threshold. They're great guys. But yes, we're really trying to knock it out of the park with the Smithsonian. It's not a guaranteed thing that like what we do great there and then like instantly we're MAGFest Smithsonian exhibit, but long-term relationships, it would be great to do that. So that's August 1st through 3rd. Let me double check that. Sorry, August 4th through 6th. We'll have load in the evening of the 4th, load out the evening of the 6th. So if you're not super personal people person, you can help with load in and load out. And then the 5th all day, and then 6th all day, like 11 to 8-ish, is where the public is allowed in. If you're interested in helping out with the Smithsonian, email smithsonian@magfest.org. Dan Hill, aka Yellow Tie Guy, he's taken the lead on coordinating that. So that address goes to a mailing list that he's on, and he can help you get set up. The weekend after that, the 11th through the 13th, we have 3 different promo events going on that weekend because we're crazy. And I'd rather we not do 3 different promo events, but people keep insisting on it, so I can't really stop them. That's what they want to do. We have BronyCon up in Baltimore. My little pony aficionados. Good people there. Otakon is in the DC Convention Center. Otakon is probably one of the biggest anime conventions on the East Coast. And Super SmashCon will be at the Dulles Expo Center. That is basically just a giant Smash Brothers tournament event. It's actually pretty neat. Even if you're not into Smash Brothers specifically, the spectacle of it is cool. Probably the main thing we'll be pushing at these is Mag Labs. Since Mag Labs is a thing right around the corner, that that we really want to make sure people get to experience. We're going to push Mag Labs as hard as we can at those. And also we have BitGen GamerFest, which is coming up at the end of July in Baltimore, July 29th. That's at the Autobar in Baltimore. So if you're really into the game music side of MAGFest, hit that up, because it's like literally 17 bands fit into about 12 hours, 13, 14 hours. They have two stages going on, the upstairs and downstairs of the Autobar. And you can get to that at BitGen, BITGEN, like bit generation. Well, actually, bit genocide is actually where it came from. bitgen.magfest.org or bitgengamerfest.com. If you want to volunteer for SmashCon or for Otakon or for BronyCon, I guess you'll probably want to hit up Josiah and Nikki. Josiah is our stops coordinator, and Nikki is our marketing director. Nikki is Nikki Mouse on Slack, and Josiah is Outlaw on Slack. But if you go to the social media channel on Slack, that's where you can start getting signed up for that. Speaking of staffing operations, I unfortunately don't have her with me tonight because I never think to actually do these fireside chats anywhere but my house. We hired Ashley Nicolette. She is our new, or the first, Sultan of Staff Services. It's the new position to succeed our previous volunteer coordinator position, and the goal of the Sultan is to make the process of volunteering for MAGFest as smooth as possible. It's of course important that your hotel room gets taken care of, your badge gets taken care of, you know how to sign up for shifts, and to get someone to push the department has to do their checklists. But we're trying to, as much as possible, make the UX, as you will, of being a volunteer as intuitive as possible. So building tools to help make that happen. For example, right now, introductions to departments and departmental training is very piecemeal in MAGFest. Some departments, when they see someone assigned to their department, they'll jump on them, say, "Hey, welcome to MAGFest, welcome to this department. I'm so-and-so, welcome. Here's the different positions we have." And then other departments, you don't necessarily hear anything until shifts are released, and then you see the shifts, and then you sign up for the shifts. An example of something that the Sultan's going to do is work with our engineer, Rabu Rana, who we hired back in March, a full-time programmer, to help build systems in Uber to help automate these emails of welcoming people to the departments, telling them about training items, sending out pictures of their department heads, their fellow staffers, sending out job descriptions, locations, maps. Excuse me. And if we can make that basically a series of fill in the blanks that all the department head needs to do is fill those in, then the software can take care of all that for them. It's just a matter of building the requirements in the software to do that. And in addition, Steph has been working on the requirements for a volunteer portal for months. You've heard her talking about it. We have the Magnomicon, the public docs folder, which it's got stuff in there, but it's not very well disseminated. Like if you go in general, you see it pinned up there, and it's got info, but it's not comprehensive, and it's not well known. So the volunteer portal is supposed to be the ultimate compendium of information on MAGFest volunteering. Everything from the processes of volunteering to info about these fireside chats, upcoming events, state of the companies, as well as a place for individual departments to make their own spaces to help educate people about their departments. The format that the portal may take, it's most likely going to be something like Confluence, but it could be some combination of Confluence, Google Drive, and maybe like a Squarespace site or something. All that matters is that it just kind of seamlessly flows together. And in addition to that, you can't really you can't read a dictionary cover to cover. Just kind of gotta look for the words when you need them. So making sure staff are throughout the year being pointed in the right direction to be like, hey, it's July, it's time to start looking at your department head checklist. Here's info in the portal to how to do that. So we have hired Ashley Nicolette to do that, and she is fantastic. She built and organized a STEM education program in the Chicago Public Libraries. She's a community manager for IndieCade. She's done production assistant work on AAA console titles, and she's also managed a ton of other events as well. And she knocked it out of the park in all of her interviews. And she started yesterday, and she's already doing great, asking all the right questions, figuring out where we can improve and where she can help. And I need to actually involve the employees on these fireside chats, because otherwise they're just faceless names to you. It doesn't help you much if you can't meet them. Speaking of interview questions and such, if you're at all curious about the hiring process at MAGFest, feel free to give me a ping either on Slack or on the Calendly. I can run you through the whole process and even do a mock interview with you to show you the kind of things we're looking for. Trying to think what else there is to cover. I think that's the bulk of it. So now, Dave, wave if you can hear me. Okay, I'm going to do some weird audio shit, and I'm going to switch this over to Dave Anderson, Blue Hat Dave. He is our warehouse manager, as I said before, and he has some news about the warehouse. So if you give me just a second. Dave, unmute your microphone. And switch this, that, that. Okay, and okay, Dave, start talking, and people let me know if you can hear him okay.
If you folks are seeing the video as well, yeah, okay, you are seeing me. Sorry about that, I'm not actually. I'm visiting my mother. We're sitting in a nice sit-down restaurant, and she trained me from a very young age to not wear my hat in that situation. So the probably big question that's on everybody's mind is air conditioning at the warehouse. This has a lot of moving parts, more interested parties than I expected, and a lot of unknowns have hit me. Okay, here's a hat. Does that help? Anyway, however, that said, we are well on track to get about 2 or 3 bids within the next couple of weeks. Construction should take a couple of weeks after that, barring how many more unknowns we run into. But things are on track and progressing for that. So that is the AC, which is kind of the big question on everybody's mind about the warehouse right now. Other things are arrangement. Thanks to Ian, Katia, and one more person about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at this point, for helping me set up 4 more uprights. We now have another island next to the Tech Ops island. Just this past week, I managed to finish assembling the horizontals for that and start putting things in the bays. So now staff suites, stops, reg, and even a few arcade machines have homes that they didn't before. Right now, the open space is currently, that opened up is currently filled with office furniture, but I am in touch with some liquidators, so they should be by soon to pick that up. And if any of you want it, please feel free to take it. Not kidding. The next step of altering the arrangement in the warehouse is going to open up 2 staging areas, each equivalent of a 26-foot Penske. I'm sorry I don't have a picture to share with you in this format, but there is something on the warehouse Confluence page. It's a Google presentation. I recently just put on another page which has things to scale, so you can kind of see where I'm going with that. I will definitely be doing this and trying it out for labs at the request of Justin Kettle, who's heading logistics for labs. And the forklift/safety area has been taped off. Please respect that. Any questions so far? Okay. Barcodes are in progress. They're going to happen. It looks like game room might be ready by labs. Other departments will depend somewhat on how quickly Spriggs can get some help coding or get it coded, and how quickly you folks want to work on inventory, but this is in progress. And on that note, MAGFest Super Mag is nearing its cap. So the warehouse is also nearing its cap. So those of you who are in charge of departments, I would appreciate it if you would start trying to think in terms of a bay budget, how much space you actually need to do the things you need to do. I'd like to give a shout out to Arcade, especially Telemonster, who's basically already thinking in these terms. If we bring in more machines, we need to figure out which ones we're trying to move out. And I did mention the warehouse Confluence page earlier. It is up and running and ready to go. It's not done because it will never be completely done. We'll always be fixing things, but it's live and good to go. And I'd like to thank Nick for giving me this opportunity to talk to you directly. And this is weird. Things are showing up in Slack as blank. Yeah, I can hear you. Did I just talk for 5 minutes with nobody listening? Did I just talk for 5 minutes with nobody listening?
No, Dave, that was great. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Dave Anderson. And let me turn that off. Oh God. Okay. For those of you who don't know, we have a warehouse. It's Beltsville, Maryland. It's about 6,000 square feet. So because of weird audio configuration, I'd have to relay what Dave said. he said he wants to thank me for all the crazy shit I had to do to get this weird setup to work. Because Dave called me on Hangouts and then I patched his audio through, which he says is almost as complicated as getting air conditioning, which I'll agree. Just a second. Hey Dave, can you mute your mic? Can you hear? Hold on a second. Okay. One thing that Dave mentioned was how SuperMag is getting to cap level, and that kind of goes hand in hand with some of the growth plans we have, mainly MAGFest. Dom and Paul are over in California right now to host the first actual MAGFest con, not just MAGQuest, which was our kind of like promotional exploratory events that we did the last couple of years. Since MAGFest is it's basically getting as large as the Gaylord can support. And we kind of made a decision a couple of years ago that we like Super Mag at the kind of journal size it is. And though we can keep experimenting with things and swapping out content to keep it fresh, there doesn't seem to be a venue that could really be compatible with the way we want to do things. And also just any more people, and it just gets insane. So our alternative to more MAGFest is more MAGFests. We want to give more people around the world the chance to experience MAGFest and to build a community of their own in their area, build an event of their own that we've gotten the chance to build here in the Delmarva area, or the DMV. And so out west, MAGFest is a brand new community, or for business speak, it's a brand new market, so to speak. People have always wanted to come to MAGFest, but never could. We now have the opportunity to have an event that they can grow and can contribute to the MAGFest overall mission of the preservation, appreciation, promotion of video game music and gaming of all types, and then the subtext to that presentation is also the fan personal focus on that, and not the industry focus. And that's what's different about MAGFest versus other events. As we go out west, we're not injecting ourselves. We're not importing the entire event. We have the scaffolding, we have the tools, and we're letting the people out there take ownership of it and drive it. And so the people we have doing that are Daniel Alexander Ross Evans, and he's backed up by Sheva Goldberg of Super Mag registration and formerly the Mag Labs research team. They are bad asses. Sheva has got a very good head on her shoulders, and Dare has crazy ideas. So it's good that they balance each other out. And also, Dom is there to make sure things are moving operationally, and Paul has got his eyes on that philosophical spirit, the vibe of MAGFest, to make sure that the people aren't building an expo out there. They're not focused on making sure everything is going perfect, making sure it's absolutely bulletproof. They're making sure that people are having fun, putting together a fun event, um, and having fun with each other doing it. It's going pretty well, actually. It's really coming together. They've been announcing their bands, I believe, and we gave them a pretty stringent budget, and they're actually on track to meet that. We're not as we prepared to go out west. We made sure that if 0 people showed up to it, we could weather the loss. We're not trying to lose money out there. By all projections, we're going to be able to do well. But it's MAGWest has huge potential for being such a new area. Like for example, PAX East and PAX Prime, they have an attendee crossover of 5%. 95% of attendees that go to PAX Prime do not go to PAX East. So that speaks a lot for how many more people you can get involved. And things are moving out there. And I guess MagWestCon West. It's happening next week. Is it Sunday or is it maybe? Oh wait, no. What the hell day is it? It's Thursday. So I believe it's happening Saturday. So let me check the calendar. It's happening this Sunday. At the for any of you MagWest people watching, MagCon West is happening at I believe it's the Hyatt Regency this Sunday, July 16th. So that's about everything that's going on between our hires, our promo events, all of our official events. Let me see if anybody asked any questions here. In the using the forum. Nugget asked if he could get $20 on his pecs. The question is, do you need $20? Are you just being, first off, Tronster is your division head, Nugget. So you should. I can help you, but in the future, you should ask him. On that subject, while we still have time here, let me talk about division heads. For those of you who came to Spring MagCon, you likely saw my presentation on the reorganization of the hires of employees in the office, as well as Super MagFest itself, and kind of the whole company. And so one of the things that we're doing for Super MagFest. Sorry for not looking at the camera here. I'm looking at my computer. It used to be the people in the office, the employees, kind of had like a loose association of like, oh, this person kind of helps this department, this person kind of helps this department. Except if you need this thing, then you go to that person, or you need that thing, you go to that other person. And it was hard to understand. It was unintuitive, and it didn't have a clear path of support. Like if you needed help with something, you didn't necessarily know who exactly you should talk to. So we decided to take the hint from every other event that's ever existed, and divided our departments into different divisions. We had divisions before, and Steph was the division director of programming, and she still is. But we never actually functionally used it for everything. So the purpose of the division heads is to be the one person that you can count on to be your support if you need help on something or need to ask a question and don't know where to look. You can ask anybody at any time for help if you want, If you know the person you need to go to for something, feel free to go ahead and ask them. But you may not get quite as quick a response from them if that person is juggling however many things. And if it requires like a lot of like back and forth with them, the division head is the person to kind of help you with that. They're not doing the job of the department, but they are there to lead the department, to guide the department, try to make all the departments in the division give a cohesive experience working together. I linked I linked it in Slack, and I'll link it in the YouTube chat as well. So in there you have, they're not 100% done, but they should be good for the most part. We have a presentation that's the organizational chart for MAG Inc., which is a more detailed version of or rather more text-heavy version of the presentation that I gave at Spring MagCon that should make sense to read through, even without me narrating. The only thing that's particularly missing is the job description for our communications position that we're going to be hiring for in the next couple of months. At the very end of that doc, and in the same folder, is a description of what we're looking for out of division heads. A division head, if a volunteer is to take the position of a division head, the work that volunteer does should not be any more than that which a department head would do. That means if you are already a department head, you should not also be a division head, because that's taking on entirely too much. However, if your department is functioning fine and dandy, and you have built it to a point where it can support itself without you, you can move on to a division head role if you wish. Such is the case with Tronster Hartley, formerly our MIVS department head, and he is now our gaming division head. So some of you the gaming and Super Mag gaming departments, museum, arcade, consoles, LAN, what else is in there? MIVS, tabletop simulations. Tronster is there to help you, like with your PEX cards, layouts, hotel requests, although you can usually go to the hotel directly. But in general, if there's anything that you got tired of not knowing who to ask for something, the division head is the person that you can ask for that. So for gaming, it's Tronster. For staff services, which is stops, the tea room, the staff suite, and potentially some kind of mental health lounge. Like you got tea room is mental health. If you think tea room is mental health, the mental health lounge, that's going to be almost straight up therapists. Which, man, I could use some of that. Programming is basically kind of like all the scheduled stuff that's not music or not games. So panels, guests, events like yoga and juggling, that kind of thing, LARP, zombies. Operations, I will be heading up that division. That's kind of the wheels, the gears, the heavy lifting of the event infrastructure. Hotel, logistics, registration, security, tech ops, treasury. I'm also, for the time being, heading up Team Japan, since they're kind of like a cross-divisional team. That's Alex Annual and Sterling Diesel. There are two people that live in Japan, and so they help us with the Japanese guests. Music is being headed by Deborah Ledick, our project manager. and communications will be run by our yet to be hired count of communications. But the org chart and the division head duties documents are really good reads. I highly suggest you go through them. And if anything's unclear, please do not hesitate to ask. Please do not hesitate to ask. Also, please don't hesitate to ask. Let me check to see if anybody's submitted any more questions here. Oh, and actually, if Shay wants $20 on his damn Hex card, I'll give you the damn $20. You don't even need the $20. You have plenty on there. What the fuck are you doing to me here? Okay. If you have questions, drop them in the forum or ask them in Slack or the YouTube channel. This broadcast will go on for another 4 minutes or so while I wait for questions to roll in. And then after this broadcast is done, I'm going to drop a Google Meet link in the YouTube chats and the Slack chats. It's basically Hangouts. It's just Hangouts, except it supports more people. You can join that, and we can people can join in and talk. Let me go back through the. Let's see if anything should be interesting chats. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, MagCon West. We're happy we're doing it. Yay! So the event's called MagCon. Yay, West. I don't know who came up with that, but I don't like. If we're looking through questions. Okay. I do not seem to see much else, so I think I'm going to call this. Thank you for watching the 4th Nick Marinelli Fireside Chat. Thank you to Dominic Cerquetti for training me to do this for the past 10 years. I would not be able to do half of what I do without him showing me how to do it. Thank you to Dominic Cerquetti. See you all in the hangar. Training me to do this for the past